best part of this episode is when Kanan and Sabine run in shooting at ghosts. Like, what did they think they'd accomplish there? Welcome back to Rebels Revisited. We've got one of the series' finest episodes on our hands, and we're also officially halfway through Season 3, so let's get started. This is Visions and Voices Revisited. The episode opens up at a briefing where poor Ezra is being haunted by visions of Maul. He's actually hearing and seeing Maul, but it's only in his head, and it's really bad. The poor kid passes out, and soon it comes to a head when he thinks that a rebel soldier is Maul. This scene really breaks my heart.
I knew it!
Ezra! Ezra, wait!
Let me go! Kanan, what are you doing? Ezra, it's not Maul. Look at him. You're out of your mind, kid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's happening to me?
This is very sad to me. He was so angry and violent while attacking that soldier. He would have killed him. So the Darkseid storyline isn't quite over yet, even though it was resolved roughly 10 episodes ago. Because here's the thing, it's never over. That's the point. It's like what Yoda said in Shroud of Darkness, not bending fear into anger is a lifelong challenge. There's this quote it's in one of the High Republic books, I don't remember which one, but there's this really great quote about how making the choice to not fall to the darkness or making the choice to stay in the light is a choice that's made every day. Don't remember what it's from, but that's a solid quote right there. I actually found the quote. It's from A Test of Courage. Spoilers, I guess, but it is out of context. So here's the quote from A Test of Courage. It goes, "It is a deliberate path to the dark, not a series of bad days. Being a Jedi is about choosing the light over and over again." And this topic reminded me of that. Great quote, good stuff. But anyway, back to Rebels. The fight against the Darkseid doesn't end because it will always try to tempt you. And so to hone in on Ezra, he has even more of a fight to put up because he almost succumbed to the Darkseid. When I covered Steps into Shadow, I compared it to an addiction. And an addiction isn't something you get rid of. It's something you can gain control over, but it's not something you really get rid of. So here's Ezra. He worked so hard to purge the dark side from himself and get back on his feet, and he was pretty successful in that. But now, here it comes again, creeping back to tempt him like an ex that won't stop trying to get back with you. It's just always going to be a challenge for him up until the very last episode of the series. Ezra is young and impressionable and emotional, and the dark side will always try to tempt him. And there's this great progression in his ability to fight it. Because before, at first, he gave in. Here, he has Kanan's support, so he's able to resist the temptation. But later on in the series, when he faces his greatest moment of temptation, he won't have Kanan's support. So he still has to grow and find the strength within himself to resist the dark side. Even though many would have liked the series to get more into Ezra and the dark side, I think that all the themes and messages related to it were pretty clear and well conveyed. So after that, Ezra and Kanan go to visit the Bendu for help, and Maul actually shows up in the flesh. He's still going with the "my apprentice" shtick, which I find kind of funny because it's just not going to work anymore. He hurt Ezra, but more importantly, he hurt Ezra's family, which means trust is off the table. Innocent until proven guilty, right? And Maul has certainly proven himself guilty. As it often does with Maul, it comes back to arrogance. He's so arrogant. He waltzes in, calling Ezra "my apprentice," as if it's so certain that that will be true, and it won't be. at all. Despite everything, Kanan and Ezra still make a deal with Maul out of necessity. When Ezra prematurely severed their connection to the holocrons, it sort of linked their minds, giving Maul access to fragmented thoughts and memories from Ezra's head. Thoughts and memories like the location of the rebel base, which Maul will reveal to the Empire if they don't work with him. Kanan doesn't want to take this deal, but they don't have much of a choice, so Kanan decides to trust Ezra, which is great. Ezra messed up big time when working with Maul before, so it would be understandable if Kanan didn't trust Ezra with this. The fact that he does really shows how much faith Kanan has in Ezra, even if he's hesitant. He's giving him this chance to show that he's grown, and he believes that Ezra has grown, and I like that a lot. So, Ezra agrees to travel with Maul to Dathomir, where they will perform a ritual that will trade their knowledge from the holocron. The shot of them flying to Dathomir is great, just like this wall of red. Great visual cue that immediately tips us off to the darkness and danger found there. So here Ezra is, alone with Maul again, kind of having to trust Maul again, but the dynamic is so different from Twilight of the Apprentice. Maul is trying his tricks. He's trying to gain sympathy by saying that he lost his family like Ezra did, but Ezra's guard stays up. He doesn't emotionally give in to Maul at all, not this time. Ezra clearly has a new understanding of the danger of the dark side, and the fact that he's clearly working to guard his heart against it shows maturity for sure. So then Maul and Ezra enter Maul's Cave of Memories, which, like, creeps me out a lot. See, it's the painting that was seen in the Clone Wars, but here it is, eyes and throat slashed. Like, ugh, creeps me out. And just to heighten that, when they show the painting here, let's talk about the music right there for a second. There are a few connections to make. Listen. So you hear how the end of each musical phrase doesn't properly finish. It kind of slides into a spooky sound effect, right? Okay, so that music is a couple phrases from the track Maul Breaks Obi-Wan from Satine's death scene, and that sounds like this. Now, get ready, Maul Breaks Obi-Wan is a sample of the Obi-Wan and Satine theme, and that sounds like this. So what we're hearing in Rebels is a double distortion of this musical theme, and it has layers. So first, we take the beautiful Obi-Wan and Satine theme, and we put it in a key that's sad and eerie, and that musical cue alone is directly related to the pain of Satine's death. But then, we take that and distort the phrases to make it sound even darker and creepier. So the whole image here is this art connected to Satine, a painting, music, things that were beautiful, and it's all distorted and corrupted now because of Maul's cruelty. It's just creepy, like, he has this shrine to Satine's death, basically, or maybe more accurately, a shrine to Obi-Wan's pain. He holds so tightly to that moment of deeply hurting Obi-Wan until he can face him again. He's obsessive over it. The way that this episode is nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel! Now let's take a moment to appreciate some of the voice acting in this episode, because Sam Witwer and Taylor Gray were kinda killing it.
Forget the past! Forget your memories! Forget your attachments. Our futures converge on a planet with two suns. We can walk that path together! As friends. As brothers.
My friends are trapped in there because of us. I can't just leave them.
You disappoint me. Ezra Bridger.
That's so good! And good on Taylor Gray for holding his own in that scene. Sam Witwer was really bringing it right there, but it still felt like Ezra was matching his intensity in his own way. That's just a really well written and directed moment though, and I think this episode is directed by Bosco Ang, who, I've mentioned this before, he's one of my favorite Star Wars animation directors, so no surprise that it's well-directed, but it is a well-directed moment. It illustrates the clear end of Maul and Ezra's relationship so well. It's blocked so that while Maul tries this last-ditch attempt at stirring Ezra's empathy, Ezra's back is turned toward him, which shows that Ezra isn't open to that manipulation anymore. Ezra bristles at Maul saying that they could be brothers because Maul hurt his real family. At this point, Ezra's stance is clear, and Maul is quick to become angry and leave now that he knows that he won't get what he wants out of Ezra. So now, just some final moments from the episode. Ezra wielding his lightsaber and the darksaber at the same time is so sick. The nightmare fuel goes away. Ezra gets confirmation on how to destroy the Sith, or at least he thinks he does.
The answer to my question of how to destroy the Sith is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The idea of Obi-Wan being the key to destroying the Sith is a really interesting one, because now we're playing with the idea of the Chosen One prophecy, and there is this sort of domino effect that starts with Obi-Wan and ends with the end of the Sith, at least for some time, because Luke is the key player in destroying the Sith. He facilitates it because Vader would never defeat Palpatine or turn to the light without Luke, and Obi-Wan protected Luke and got him off Tatooine. So that's one angle of it, this whole prophecy angle, but perhaps even more interesting is what Obi-Wan tells Ezra in Twin Sons, that the holocrons weren't really telling Ezra that Obi-Wan was the key to destroying the Sith, and that Maul manipulated Ezra and manipulated the truth. So now we're dealing with the classic theme of fate versus free will. Since we know how events play out, we know that Obi-Wan did play an integral role in the bringing down of the Sith, as I already said. So, you know, we hear that from the holocrons, and we're kind of down to follow along because we know that, yeah, Obi-Wan definitely could be the key to destroying the Sith. But how much of that was predestined by the Force, if any? Both sides kind of check out, so I think it's up for debate. I think it's purposefully up for debate, and I think that it's an intriguing debate at that. And lastly, Sabine gets a hold of the darksaber. We're getting so close to Sabine's biggest moments. I think we're actually only like 2 or 3 episodes out from it all, so exciting times for sure. And that's the episode. This is seriously such a great one. They handled the darker, creepier tone so well. There are moments that legitimately send a chill up my spine. They were spot on with what a Night Sister episode should feel like. It was also just really important to resolve Maul and Ezra's relationship and to show the audience how much Ezra has changed and how his trust in Maul has run out for good. And I also really liked getting to see how much trust Ezra does not have in Maul at this point and how much trust Kanan does have in Ezra. That's one of my favorite aspects of the episode for sure. And next time we get into the second half of the season. There are some really great episodes coming up and I can't wait to cover them. Until then, thanks for watching and may the Force be with you always.